In this video, we're going to talk about chord inversions, triad inversions. So let's do a quick review. So to build a triad, remember we play a note. So for instance, I'm going to play C over here. And then I skip the next white key, and I go to the third white key, which is E, skip, and then go to the fifth white key, right? So the C chord would be C, E, G. If I change my, let me show you my hands here. Here we go. All right, so I go C, E, C, E, G, right? So I skipped a white key in the middle. Same thing if I start on D, I have D, F, A. I have E, G, B. We have F, A, C. We have G, B, D. And then remember for the A chord, we need to come up here, A, C, E, right? Okay, now these are called root position chords. And the reason they're called root position is because the bottom note is the root of the chord. Remember, we have root, third, fifth, right? So when the bottom note is the root, they're called root position chords, okay? Now, if we're just going up and down, this bottom voice is moving really smooth. It's moving by step, right? So is this middle voice. But if I start jumping around with chords, let's say that I have a, we'll do that chord progression we did earlier. Sorry, 6. So we'll do 6, 4, 1, 5. 6, 4, 1, 5. Okay? What you're going to notice when I play this again is that every voice has to jump a lot. They're not very smooth. Okay, so what we can do is we can invert these chords as a way to get smoother voice leading between chords. Okay, so here's our root position chord again, C, E, G. Okay, what I'm going to do is take this C and I'm going to put it up on top. So I still have C, E, G, but I have them in a different order. And I have E on the bottom. So I have E, G, C. Okay, this is called a first inversion. First inversion means the middle note of the chord, the third, is on the bottom. So again, we have root position, first inversion. And I can do that with all the chords. Here's our D, F, A chord. Well, now I'm going to have F, A, D. I put D on top. Same thing with our E chord, E, G, B. Well, now I'm going to have G, B, E on top. Okay, so again, root position. If I put the third on the bottom and the root on the top, I have first inversion. Okay, and then we also have a second inversion, which is when I take that C, E, G, and this time I'm going to put the fifth on the bottom. So I'm going to have G, C, E. That's a second inversion. And again, it works with all the chords. So D, F, A, I have A, D, F. Okay, if I take maybe a G, B, D chord, I now have D, and then I gotta come up here for G and B. Or I could also do it down here. That's a second inversion, okay? So in quick review, we have a root position chord, which is the root on the bottom. We have a first inversion chord, which is the third on the bottom. And then we have a second inversion chord, which is the fifth on the bottom. Okay, so root position is going to be root, third, fifth. First inversion is third, fifth, root. Second inversion is fifth, root, third. Okay, so why don't you take that C chord, let's take that C chord, and let's practice playing it in all the inversions. Okay, so here's root position. Now for first inversion, I'm going to go E, G, C, so E, G, C. And then for second inversion, I'm going to go G, C, E. Okay, and let's practice that for all the chords. So we take D, F, A. First inversion we have F, A, D. Second inversion, we have A, D, F. And you kind of got to figure out how to play it on the keyboard. Okay, 3 chord, root position. First inversion, we have G, B, E. Second inversion, we have B, E, G. 4 chord, we have F, A, C. So for a first inversion, we have A, C, F. And for a second inversion, we have C, F, A. I could also do that down here, C, F, A. Okay, so just take a couple of those chords and see if you can play those different inversions. All right. In Google Classroom, you have a quiz to take on this. Go back through, watch this video if you're stuck on any of the quiz questions, and good luck.